A couple of things.
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 Hello and welcome to episode number 10. Wow, I can't believe it's been 10 episodes already. Today's episode is going to be a UX one, and I'll be focusing on guerrilla research, which is a quick and scrappy way of doing research when you're low on funds and time. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for listening. If you're a UX person, you know how hard it is to get buy-in for UX, especially for doing UX research, especially for newer company startups, so people who are not familiar with the whole concept of UX in general. And so you have to be creative in developing effective, low-cost, impactful ways of getting user insights. In the last episode, I talked about some various sources of feedback, such as existing research, internal tools, app store reviews, and so forth. But guerrilla research is you doing that primary research yourself and seeing directly from people, getting feedback from them about what they think, their experiences, and so on. So when you face pushback from stakeholders about costs of research or benefits, guerrilla research can help you prove value with minimal investment, and it is very flexible. You can do it online, you can do it offline. It's a little bit difficult now because we're in a socially distanced world, but you can make it work online. You can do it as often as you like, and it can be as short as 5 minutes, and you should try to keep your guerrilla sessions maximum of 15 minutes. So when should you use guerrilla research? You should use it when you have a very small scope, or you can use it as intercept studies at the beginning of a project or some kind of exploratory research. You can use it to gather feedback from users on site as they complete the process. So for example, if you're a coffee shop and you want to get feedback from people who come into your coffee shop, an intercept study or a guerrilla method here will be as soon as somebody completes their transaction, which is probably buying a cup of coffee, or when you finish eating at the restaurant and they want to leave, you ask them a couple of questions about their experiences. So an online version of this would be introducing a short survey after a user completes a transaction. Another version of this is interviewing conference participants at the end of a conference or even during the conference. So you can pretty much be flexible with this and use it in any way that you think is beneficial. So when shouldn't you use guerrilla research? Guerrilla research is not great for sensitive topics like finance and healthcare. It's not great when you need expert personas who have like domain specific knowledge. It can be very difficult when you want to use guerrilla research for those kinds of research studies. So guerrilla research is used for concept testing at paper prototype level, high fidelity mockups, and so on as well. So I'm going to talk a little about how to do guerrilla research next. I've talked about when and when not to use guerrilla research. So now I'm going to talk about how to use guerrilla research, how to actually do it. The first thing you need to know is that, like any other research method, you have to plan before you start doing guerrilla research. So first of all, you need to define your goal. You need to clearly define what you want to find out before you go out into the world. Are you doing prototype tests? Are you doing concept tests? Are you doing usability tests? Are you doing interviews? You need to figure out what metrics you're interested in, what insights you're interested in finding out. So example goal will be to understand how current law students study for their exams. Another example will be to understand if users can identify the purpose of a feature that you are creating. The next step is to define your participants. Generally, this is important for any kind of study that you do. That's why I said that there's some kinds of studies that should not be done using guerrilla testing. If you're in a very niche or very expert in area, you might not be able to get the right kinds of participants for guerrilla sessions. So you need to define your participant group. Normally it will be a generic thing, like so with the law school student example, the best place would be to go to a law school, right? Because there you'll find law school students. So you need to think about who is the person that you're trying to find out information about. When I did a guerrilla testing thing for testing the usability of news websites, I just wanted to talk to people who already read news online. I didn't think about gender, age, and all those other things. So when I went to the mall to do my testing, I didn't worry about gender or age. I just asked them, do you read news online? If they answered yes, then I continued. So before you go in, the third thing you need to do is to create a discussion guide and a short screener. A screener is a tool for you to pare down your target audience for your research, to know that you're selecting the right kind of people for your research. And so with the example I gave earlier about newspaper websites, I just wanted to know if you read the news online. If you did, then that was my whole screener. It was very short. I remember everything about guerrilla studies have to be short. If you want to understand how people order food online, you want to ask questions about if they order food, how often, and where they order food from. Next thing you need to do is to choose your location. Because most of us are indoor now, it might not be the same. You can just do it online. But if you're doing it offline, in person, you want to think about places where you get heavy footfall and where you can access very easily, like a mall or a park. And then be sure that you have your Wi-Fi if you need an internet connection for your study, and make sure again that you go to where your target audience can be found. So if you're targeting lawyers, you can go to, say, a high court or something and just hang around there. So I hope this helps for you if you're trying to figure out how to do quick research. If you have any questions, please let me know. And thank you for listening to the 10th episode. Yay!
Thank you for listening to this episode of A Couple of Things. If you enjoyed it or you learned something new, please share. And remember to subscribe so you don't miss out on new episodes. If you're listening or you can rate and review, please leave a review. Bye.